Hey, welcome back to Powered by 8 Racing YouTube channel. Today I got another delivery. This was a big one I've been waiting for, and one that I needed to get done, and that is the new hood from AJ Hartman. As you can see, it's nice new hood. No hood pins. No hood pins. And no relief cut for the intake like the old one had. Now the problem is that I've got to do that all again. Not my favorite thing to do. But with that, I've also been working on some things that I didn't record because I didn't really know how to do it, and I didn't want to fumble around too much because it was just a lot of sitting around staring at things to figure it out. Anyways, what I've been working on was ducting out the radiator, and also I'm going to redesign the way that I have this upper radiator hose. So I'm going to put that 90 in here, bring it out a little bit further, and I'm going to kick this out this way. And that's just because the ducting gets really close right here, and I don't like where this sits next to where the ducting is. So that's what I'm working on. This is the ducting that I've come up with, is right here. I'm still a work in progress, but once I get that closer, I will show that in this video with the hood. Right now what I need to do though is move this radiator hose to a spot that I like it, because even with the hood, it used to rub right here, and I don't know if you can see the markings, but it used to rub right here, and I didn't really care about it because the clamp's back here. But now that everything's getting moved around and this needs to be moved, I might as well just address this while I'm doing it. So that's what I'm going to do first. Let me get a screwdriver and some wrenches. Hopefully I don't lose too much water. If I do, I'm going to lift the car up, just drain the radiator out, and I'll just have to do it that way. But I'm hoping all the water is already been fed to the bottom of the motor and wherever else it can be. All right, let me get at it.
Powered by 8.
So fortunately, I did start losing water from here, so I'm going to go ahead and raise the car real quick. I'm just going to drain the radiator out, and then I don't have to worry about this water. Didn't want to have to do that, but I guess I'm going to have to. Nothing's ever easy. So this is what I wanted to, it used to tuck right up underneath here, and the reason I didn't like that was because it put this really close to right here, and also the I need to put some nut certs on this to hold some other parts in, and it would be rubbing on the hose. So I'm just going to kick it out a little bit more. If I want to bring it a little bit tighter, I can. Just loosen this up. I can shove it in probably another couple inches just to tighten up that radius, which I'll probably end up doing. But then it'll sit on this. I might just leave it. We'll see how it goes. But I needed to kick it out, and that's what I accomplished. So let me take this off, get the hood on, and go from there. Obviously with the hood on, it's going to fit pretty much the same that it did before. The one thing I think I have to do is I'm going to have to take the throttle body off while I'm test fitting it, because until I get this cut out, there's not much relief right here in the mold. So I'm going to go ahead and take the throttle body off, get it out of my way, and that way it'll be easier to get the hood aligned. All right, let me catch you up where I am. I wasn't able to show this because I needed some help from my wife, and she doesn't like to be on the camera. So anyways, I've got the spots marked. I've got 1, 2, 3 spots marked. So what I do is I get the hood, I lay it on here, and I have her hold this side down. There's a little bit of a bow on this side, so she holds that side. I can compress this side, and I can see how the alignment is. Once I do that, I can then have her continue to hold that. I can reach in here and I can mark this one and I can mark that one. And then that one, I have her move down here, hold it, and I mark that one. And then what I do is I come and drill a hole with a stepper bit. Then I go back, I check the hood, make sure that my pins are gonna go through the holes. I take these don't really come with templates. So I take the arrow latch, this goes like this. So I take this off, I flip it over this way, I open this up, and then I check my hole, all right? So I make sure my hole's good, and then I drop this down, and I leave that there, and then I hold it there, and then I trace the inside of that. And that's how I create my template. I don't draw or anything like that. Then I'm gonna use a body saw and I will cut that out. So that's where I am right now. All right, here comes the moment of truth. So we'll lock that corner in first. So that fell into place. We'll come looking for this one. That one's there. So just like that. This will have to come over a little bit. That one's in. To raise this up a little bit. This is really sunken in. Let me see if this is going to latch. That one's good. That one's good. This one will probably have to be trimmed right here, just like the last hood. Boom. So the last one we got to worry about is this one. So the plan here was to add some weight here. Really get this bent in. As soon as this locks in like that, that'll pull this side down, and then I can adjust the rest. All right, so you can see what I've done. I locked it in, locked it in, locked it in. This alignment stuff I'll take care of with the height of these, but what's important is I laid this down, I marked inside here, I drilled a hole so I could see where my clearance was, and then I take the arrow latch and then I put this on here like that again. And then I can see where that needs to go. And once I do that, I can take this off. It's going to move. I'm holding the camera. But there you can see. And then I trace the inside of this, move it out of the way. I cut outside that line, drill my holes, tighten it down, and we'll have hood latches. All right, so there we go. 4 hood latches on. Perfectly aligned. To the best that I can get those aligned. You know, this is aftermarket hood, aftermarket fenders. We kind of got to just take it for what it's worth. All right, so that's going to be all I'm going to get accomplished for tonight. Tomorrow I am going to jump on getting the hole cut out for the throttle body and the intake tube. And then from there we can put the ducting in. Because this hood sits a little bit different, I might have to just trim down the ducting just a hair just to make it fit better. And if I don't, I don't. But I think I might have to. And so with that, I will see you tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Another $1 lost to the car. Anyways, let's get the throttle body put back on. Then I can put the hood back on. I can measure out where I need to put the hole, drill my lines, and be done with the hood, and we can move back on to the ducting. All right, let's get going. All right, so see, we got that nice centered up. Doesn't look like it in the video, but it's nice and centered. The intake tube will slide right on there with the silicone coupler, just like before. And obviously it's not going to sit right, but that's how it'll be. And then I need to get the ducting back in here. That'll come off until the ducting's done and ready. And I know this corner here will need to be notched out a little bit, and hopefully the rest will fit pretty nice. And then I just need to get the ducting attached to the radiator, and I mean, we should be wrapping it up fairly quickly. So let's see what happens.
Flashback.
I am going to try, and I stress try, to make the ducting for the hood. Now, as we know, I haven't been running with it, but I should have this ducted to take full advantage of the hood. Obviously, we still are waiting for the new one to get here, but it's done, and I just need to get it here. Anybody wants to ship it from Virginia to me, let me know. But anyways, I spent last night trying to get some templates together. I am going to bore you with the tedious task of what I did, but basically the easiest way I knew, because of all the complex angles and not really having a easy way to get in there, was I took some measurements and then I slowly started to piece some cardstock together and got it to fit. So this will actually fit both sides, and then on this side the only difference is going to be that this has to get bent over a little bit to get past the coolant line that runs here. And then also, because of the way that my intake tube comes this way down through, is that this one's going to get a hole in the middle of it. Anyways, like I said, I've got this template made. I've got to cut these two pieces out, and then this is probably going to get shrunk down as I get it clearanced and stuff. I think that, you know, once I get my what's it called, the weather stripping on here to seal it up, the rubber stripping, this will start to take away some of the spacing. So I might have to notch this down 1/2 inch all the way around, but that's easy to do once everything's done. I can just take a little bit of room off of it everywhere and make that work. And then the big main piece right here will have a notch out of this side for the radiator hose. And then this is cut a little long right now, because when I made this piece, it's about 1 inch too short, plus I don't have my overhangs to rivet it to this piece. So that's where I am right now. I am going to take some more measurements of this and then cut this down to size, and then I need to make another one of those, and that's pretty much where we are. Let's just see what I was basically doing was this will go up underneath here like this, and that seals this back section off. And then you can see that notch kind of goes there for the hose right here, and then I think that's going to be just about like that. And then this piece here, it goes right in here like this. And so you can see, because of all the complex angles, that's why I made it into so many different pieces and just tape them together as I found the angles for it. It just made it a lot easier to rough out. So that'll go like that, and then again that needs to be trimmed a little bit, and then this will sit up here, and this will get folded over to seal right here. So that's kind of where things are. I need to now kind of figure out where and how much longer this piece needs to be so that we have enough clearance once I get there. All right, so I got this one cut. I added the 2.5 inches to it that I needed to. I already bent this one at the 90. Now I need to cut this relief in it. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut it back to there. I'm going to cut it back to about right here. I'd rather have a little bit more, so what I'm going to do is I will trace that, and then I'm going to cut it here, here, and then around, and then I'll bend this independently and this independent. So then as it slides over, that will be hollow, and the pipe will fit right there. Alright, so I went ahead and used the hole saw. I had one that was pretty close to this size, and with the wander that it has, it made it pretty good. And I'll just cut off and clean this up on the bandsaw, and I'll file that clean, and we should be at a good spot with that. I'll be right back.
Eventually.
Alright, so I changed my mind a little bit. I discussed it with some friends who understand aerodynamics probably a lot better than me. And what I'm going to do is, rather than where that ducting sat behind the waterfall and I was going to kick the air back out, is now I'm just going to bring that back panel more forward, tuck it right up underneath the waterfall, and then that there won't be a transition of air. So the air will come out the radiator straight up and over the hood, and that'll be a sealed area there. And I think that's what I'm going to accomplish now. So what I did off camera was I made some marks on here, and you can see, try to get this to focus. And so you can see here, this is going to be the new line. So I'm going to cut this line here. I'm going to cut it here. That'll bring this more forward. This will sit right up underneath the waterfall. This is going to get chopped down too, or I might push it down and fold it up. But anyways, that's what I decided to do with that. So let me get these panels drilled off, get it over to the brake, cut it on those lines. Hope we're good. So, all right, let's get started on that. Okay, so now this is going to be too high. The hood's going to hit this. So I'll be able to at least mark, move this around as needed. So I'm going to push this out of the way, put the hood on. But for now, so this is actually at like an angle, because this comes down and this isn't a flat line. This actually goes like that. So what we might do is cut it low and let the seal be what stops it. Alright, so basically it sits in there like this. So I'll need to cut this out of the way. You see it's not a straight line. Same with this, like that. Okay, so you can see this sits in here now. The hood should sit against this, I might be able to bend this out, just a little bit out here, seal that up. This one here, might be able to do the same, but we'll have to bend it in the vise, and then we can just put some molding right here to seal it kind of up, and I think that we will be good. Alright, so you can see here, coming straight up, sealed to the hood. This is going to be just straight up out of the car now. So we will get some material here, maybe bend this in, and then we'll seal that up, and then I'll bend it here, and then seal that up against there, and then I think we'll be good. The only thing that I need to do is I want to mount this first before I start bending this up, just so I know exactly where it's going to land every single time and that I'm not messing with it, because right now this could actually move forward just a little bit more. So let's get this tight and then we will go from there. All right, I jumped ahead a little bit on you guys because there was some boring stuff happening, which was just making some brackets for the sides, taking it apart, putting it back together, scuffing up the aluminum plating, and then just putting the weather stripping around it to seal it up some. We are done. It looks great. I have to fix the intake tube. I'll do that off camera, but that's all. So I'm going to grind this off now. I don't need it anymore, and then I'm going to weld it flat. You can see I've got this nice and sealed up the best that I can. Everything's nice and tight, the best that it can be. Here, 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 and along here. So it's pretty much the best that we can do with what we got, because we don't have the flipped intake. So that's where it is. I'm happy with it. Let me take the hood off. I'll show you what it looks like there. All right, the hood off. Now you can see exactly how it is. So this curve here, these bends, are because this isn't exactly center. The radiator isn't exactly center. It's off just a little bit. So that's fine. That's part of the design. We deal with it. Intake tube comes down. We'll get tucked in there, hooked up. Radiator hose, I am going to slide over a little bit more, tuck this up underneath a little bit better. That'll be good. And then this side you can see I've just got levers mounted to the welded on tabs on the radiator. So some guys like to free float this onto the frame rails. It'll be very difficult for me to do just because of what I have. I don't really have mounting points to do that. I think we'll be okay here. If I see that it becomes a problem, then we'll address that and we'll fix it up. That'll wrap up this episode. I have an event coming up in a month or so, so we've got some time. We've got some other things coming up down the pipeline for the car. We will try to get as much of that recorded for you to see as well. But until next time, hope you enjoy it. We will see you next time at the shop.
Powered by Ocho.